Welcome to the channel, friends. So today's video is going to be a quick oil change on a 2019 Subaru Crosstrek. And I'm going to go ahead and change out the oil today and filter. I am using a BOSCH oil filter, 72271WS. Okay, that's what we're going to replace it with. And some Mobil 1 5W30 because we are in wintertime here. We're going to go with a 5W30. And really easy job. All you're going to need to do is have some tools available. You're going to need to obviously jack up the vehicle. We have a oil drain pan here. You're going to need a 14 millimeter socket with extension and a ratchet because there is a belly pan on the bottom of this vehicle and you cannot just use a combination wrench. Okay, so you have to have some kind of extension like this so you can get past that big belly pan where the access hole is to get the oil drain bolt. The filter, however, is not, below the vehicle like most cars. It actually is right here in the engine bay. So that's easy enough. We're going to first go ahead and drain the oil and then replace the filter. And I'll show you that exact process step by step. Couple other things is this right here is where you would fill the oil with a funnel to replace the oil once we drain it. And right here is going to be your oil dipstick to check the engine oil level. So those are the basics to know when you do an oil change on a Subaru Crosstrek. We're going to go ahead now, and I have the vehicle jacked up. I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil and show you what that looks like, and I'll see if I can get a nice snapshot of what I'm talking about underneath the vehicle with that belly pan. It's kind of hard to see, really tight confined quarters underneath there, but I will show you the best I can. Alright, so let me get to it and I'll show you what the process is like. Okay, so before I go ahead and drain the oil, you want to make sure your vehicle is secure and jacked up. So this is the setup I have. I have a floor jack on either side going to the actual unibody of the vehicle, a nice solid support structure, something that is going to be able to withstand the weight of the vehicle by lifting it up. And then you want to go ahead and chalk off your wheels like this to make sure your vehicle does not move while it's jacked up with the floor jack on either side. So this is nice and secure. I'm going to go ahead now and show you the underside and what that looks like. Alright, so we are underneath the vehicle here, and as you can see, there is a giant belly pan under the vehicle. But luckily enough, you can still get in here and change the oil. You have this access hole right here, and right in here is going to be your drain bolt. So that's why you need an extension on your ratchet so you can get past the belly pan. So I'm going to go ahead now and set up my oil container and go ahead and remove that drain bolt and drain the oil. Okay, as we go ahead and drain the oil pan here, it's a good idea to have a piece of cardboard underneath your actual drain pan, because no matter how much I try sometimes to contain the oil, when I released that drain bolt and unscrewed it from the drain pan, from the oil pan, it actually came out extremely violently because the oil's nice and warm right now. I had the car running, and it just went everywhere. So no matter how hard you try, I always try to have a large cardboard box underneath that drain pan. That way it captures any spillover from the oil. A chewy box works great. Usually the ones that come, the big ones that come for dog food, that's what I have here. So as you can see, oil got kind of not where I wanted it on the garage floor, but it's okay because most of it was contained by the cardboard box. So that's a little tip I have. Right now, the oil filter is actually still screwed on. So we're going to go ahead now and go and unscrew that and open up the cap as well so we can let out any oil if there is any oil trapped in that passageway. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and unscrew the oil filter and open up the cap. This is going to vent the engine to make sure all the oil gets out. I have these oil filter pliers that work great. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. I already kind of broke it loose off camera because this was on there very tight. These pliers work great, as you can see. They really put this on here tight. They must have used an actual wrench or a oil filter socket. So there we go. As you can see, this is what the tool looks like. It's just got a really big set of jaws, specifically made to grip different size oil filters, and it's adjustable. So I'll post a link down below for this if you want to buy this. So we're going to put this off to the side, and right now we're going to put the cap on just for a second because I don't want any crap to go into the engine, because there's a bunch of crap on the outside channel there. There's a groove for like drainage on the oil filter, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of blow on that, get rid of all the resting dust on it. I'm going to go ahead and just spin this off. Just like that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead now and just throw this out properly, dispose of it in the proper way. Usually auto parts store will take this, or your transfer station. But do not throw this out in the trash because it actually does have oil and stuff in it, so that's not good. So properly dispose of your oil filter and oil. You'll have to bring it back to the auto parts store. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is carefully, which I've already done, is go clean the mating surface with a rag. Do not let anything fall into the oil passage or oil gallery there. So that's the reason why I put the cap back on, because as you're manipulating this stuff, debris can go migrate to other places. So that's clean. The mating surface where the seal will go, so that black ring here, that's the seal that creates a seal up against that machined surface, which is nice and shiny and nice and clean now. Next trick is going to be to take some of this oil. It can be this old oil, it doesn't matter. Just get your finger wet, put some in the threads, okay? And put some on the black seal as well. It's kind of hard to do off camera, but you get the idea. Take some of this residual oil and just rub it on the black seal just like so, and some on the threads. So typically there's a trick where you fill up the oil filter and you fill it with fresh oil, but in this case we can't because it's a top mounted oil filter. So if we were to pour oil into this right now, it would just drain out all over the place here and have no benefit really. So what we can do is just fill it up with a little bit of oil to get the filter itself saturated. So that way it's not a completely dry filter when the engine goes to turn on the first time around on startup. So I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit of oil inside of here and then, like, rotate it around and get it to absorb into the filter. Okay, so now it's time to fill up with oil, brand new fresh oil. And I went ahead and tightened up the oil plug, the oil drain plug, and torqued that to specification. There is no crush washer or anything on this vehicle. It's just a straight drain plug, and you just torque it to spec. And now it's time to fill this up. So we're going to expose the oil cap here, and we're going to insert a funnel here, and we're going to fill it up with 4.6 quarts of oil. But I recommend to only put in like 3.5 quarts of oil, and then check your dipstick, okay? And then to see exactly what the final amount is that you need to pour into the engine. You don't want to go ahead and just dump in 4.6 quarts because there is still residual oil in other places in the engine, believe it or not, and sometimes it doesn't fully get out. So you may only need maybe, say, 4 quarts versus 4.6. So I'm going to go ahead and pour in, like I said, about 3.5 first, and then check it. And then do that maybe 2 or 3 times to get it to the proper level. But your vehicle will have to be on the ground when you do this. You cannot have it jacked up on the front. It has to be at level. So you have to have a level engine to check the oil level properly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, pour some oil in, and repeat the process till I fill up to the proper level. Also, I want to mention when installing the oil filter, just go very hand tight. I basically went hand tight and then I took a rag. I'm just going to cover this first. Took a rag and then went right over the oil filter and then give it a really good snug, really tight fit on there. And then that's it. I'm not going to put a wrench or anything on there. Hand tight is going to be plenty, because what happens over time is that the oil filter actually will tighten or, bond itself to the gasket and the mating surface there, so it gets tighter over time. So you don't have to go crazy tight. It's going to be secure no matter what. And then let's go ahead now and take care of that oil and fill it back up. Alright, so I just want to show you what the dipstick looks like. If you don't know already, you want to fill the oil level to in between these two dots here. There's two dimples in the dipstick. So you essentially want to bring it kind of up to 80% mark. It's a good spot. That's where this is at right now. But you don't want it towards the low end. I mean, even though it's sufficient, you really want to put a bunch of fresh oil in there and bring it up to 80% of in between these two dots here. So essentially right here where my finger is. Okay, you don't want to go past this upper dot because that's going to overpressure the engine and cause all sorts of weird kind of pressures in the engine, and it will blow seals, valve cover seals, all sorts of different things start happening because of the overpressure of the fluid itself, the oil fluid. So keep in mind that you want to be in between these two dots and your car will be safe. But that's how to read the dipstick if you don't know. I'm going to go ahead now and fully seat the dipstick. That's another thing. You want to fully seat the dipstick so it bottoms out just like it is when you first pull it out. It wants to be fully seated in order to take a correct reading. You don't want to just bring it to the O-ring. You want to bring it right to the flange here and essentially close the dipstick off completely. Then pull it out, and then that's how you take your reading. You want to read, like I said, in between the two dots, when it's fully bottomed out on the actual dipstick tube. Alright folks, so that's it with the oil change. This is a good time to go and check all your other fluids in the engine bay. Make sure they're all to the the proper level while you're in here. But that's going to be it for the oil change. It's a really simple process. Some people just like to know exactly how it's done, have someone go through it and kind of show them the way. It's a really simple car to do an oil change on, so everything went smooth, and this car is ready to be back in operation and have no issues when it comes to oil. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any other questions or comments, please place them right down below. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.